Welcome to a Toys Brothel training video. Today we're going to illustrate how to wear shoes in Second Life. We'll start with the simple and then the more complex open-toed sandals with prim feet. Since shoes with many features including color change will have a HUD, heads-up display, we'll demonstrate the use of two common HUDs. When you've completed your training with toys, you can obtain the color change stilettos shown here. They are simple shoes. However, the color change feature makes them versatile. So let's begin. Find a pair of shoes in your inventory. The first pair we are going to demonstrate include an alpha layer. Alpha layers hide a part of your avatar body. The symbol used looks like the shirt layer. However, it is named alpha. The first pair of shoes requires that you wear 4 items. The shoe shape looks like a sneaker. This shapes your avatar foot to fit inside the shoe. The alpha layer to hide a part of your foot that does not conveniently fit in the shoe, and the shoes themselves, left and right. Wear each of the items. The shoes are objects and are therefore represented by yellow cubes. A HUD is included with the first shoes. Choose where and it should appear on your screen. I'll minimize the inventory window because my HUD just happens to be attached in the same area. It's really a product of how I set the screen up for the video. It would be unlikely to have the HUD appear under the inventory placement, but it's possible. While there is no universal color change HUD for shoes, they are similar and pretty much work the same. Here are 3. The first is the color change HUD we'll use for the stilettos. The second, from a popular brand of shoes. This HUD includes other features but not color change. And the third, for another brand of shoes with multiple settings and pieces. Let's change the color of the stilettos. We're back at the HUD. Try clicking different color blocks to change the shoes. The row of buttons across the bottom allows you to save your favorite colors. There is a full bright checkbox, and the tab at the top of the HUD gives some other features, including size. Shoe manufacturers in SL use the foot size of your avatar set to 0. Next, let's look at the older style shoe you received with the student slave kit during intake. These shoes are worn the same way. However, they do not contain an alpha layer and really don't require it. Remember to wear the shoe shape, the icon on the clothing layer that looks like a sneaker. Not wearing it will leave your feet looking like this. Unless covered by a beautiful pair of shoes, Second Life feet just are not that pretty. Shoes with prim feet and toes have made it possible for us to wear all types of beautiful open-toed shoes. The shoes demonstrated here are from Yummy Designs. There are a multitude of manufacturers selling shoes in all styles and price ranges. Check Marketplace, where you'll find open-toed styles for as little as 10 lindens. There is very little difference between wearing the open-toed styles with prim feet and the other shoes we've already seen. They use a shoe shape, an alpha layer, and a right and left shoe. However, they add the challenge of skin coloring and sometimes sizing. Skin coloring in particular can make or break the whole look. Most manufacturers include the ability to subtly change the skin color via the HUD, and in some cases include the RGB values for many popular skins. Take the time to get yours right. It's worth the effort. As always, it's a good idea to make a copy of the file before changing anything. For illustration purposes, I made sure that the skin tone was radically different from my own, and that the shoes would appear disconnected from my lower legs. This disconnection sometimes happens for shorter avatars, and may not be as exaggerated as I've made it here. We'll open the HUD by wearing it. Clicking on the skin palette changes the colors. Find one close to your skin tone. The lower palette has more gradations. Now we'll move the shoes into contact with my legs. This may not be necessary for you. Just check from multiple angles to be sure that the shoes fit you properly. Right-click the shoe and choose Edit. The 3D arrows should appear, and use them to move the shoes into position. Exit the Edit window. One quick point about multiple items on the same attachment point. When you graduated, we asked you to remove your ankle cuffs. This is because they occupy the attachment point on your lower leg, the same one as these types of shoes. You can, however, use Add instead of Wear to get around this problem. Using Wear will displace the item as shown here. I'll put my shoe back on and demonstrate changing the colors on the shoe. Each column in the HUD changes a different part: the ribbons, foot pads, sole, and toenails. A wonderful pair of shoes can make your day, and certainly captures our guests' attention. Enjoy, and thank you so much for watching.